Hi, this is Rabbi Daniel Rabin, Rabbi of the Northeastern Jewish Center. Raising children, bringing up children has never been an easy task. And it's interesting, I was at the public library yesterday with my children, getting them some books, and I came across the section of how to be a better parent. And there were so many books written, about parenting instructions, advice, how to be a much better parent. And it was interesting because our Torah portion this week, the Parshat of Teitzei, the Torah tells us about this particular circumstance of a child known as the Ben Soreh or Moreh, the wayward child, the child the Torah really describes as someone who was terrible, didn't listen to his parents. And the Talmud actually relates to us that this particular child known as the Ben Soreh or Moreh never actually occurred in history. There was never such a child that really was as bad as the Torah described. And therefore one has to wonder, why does the Torah have to tell us about this circumstance and that never actually occurred in history? And I believe there's a very powerful message that's contained in the description of this child, that the Torah is really trying to inform the parents how they should really give over the education and the instructions and the love towards their child. And that is, the Torah says that this particular child, Einenu Shomea B'kol Aviv V'kol Imo, he didn't listen to the voice of his father and the voice of his mother. And all of you who understand Ivrit and Hebrew understand that by saying Kol Aviv V'kol Imo, you don't have to say it twice. You can say B'kol Aviv V'imo, to the voice of his father and mother. Why say the voice of his father and the voice of his mother? And our sages point out that the Torah is trying to subtly tell us that the father and mother both were giving the child, different messages. There wasn't a united voice in the way they were giving over to their child love, instructions, guidance. And therefore the Torah is telling us, if we don't as parents have a united voice when we want to give over education and love and instructions to our children, that can potentially lead to something which is not so good, the child not listening, the child not understanding, because he's confused. And therefore the message the Torah is telling us, we don't have to agree with everything our partner says, but the way we may discuss things and eventually come with the message to our children, that should be one voice. Debate it in the bedroom, and when we come over to give it to the child, that should be a united voice. And please God, with that message as one voice, the child will obviously have a clear understanding and grow up to be a much better person. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. See you next week.